Hello, this is Elijah Ignatieff of Planetary Guardians, and I'm here with a potential Planetary Guardian team that is asking for some inflow matrix training from Captain Sweep. And this is a very exciting time in the world, and this is a very exciting team. And I would just like to start off by hearing from everybody sort of your intention coming in. What are you looking to get, given what you know? I mean, I know Laurie is the one who's been telling you about whatever this is, and she has her own perspective because she has been connected to me for a number of years. So I'd like Laurie to start and maybe take a little bit of time and sort of give your understanding and context of our relationship and what you want to get out of this, and then why don't we just go around in a circle after that.
So what I find, thank you for that. What I find really cool is that years ago, 2012, 9 years ago, I met Elijah and I did a mapping system for my company, LR Future, that was called a synergy map. And it had all 9 points within a business with shared values that we built. Not just Laurie built it. Laurie's got the vision of the company. But when you, as a steward of your own ship or a steward of your company or a steward of whatever, then it's about how can we share that vision and how can we get on a shared communication system. So we did what was called a synergy map, and I use it in my company all the time, and it's based around, of course, the Enneagram as well, which is personalities. I really believe in a time like this, what excites me the most is that we're coming together. I know we're doing like a shared knowledge community, but it's also what hits me a lot is the inner you, the outer you, the inner group, the outer group. Every single one of us are in those 4 elements in some capacity. So when it comes to the inner you, outer you, if your inner you values and your behavior are not matching, guess what? Whoa, there's no balance. I'm like off here, and that's awful. That's an awful feeling. So then we go, when I took it and I brought it to my company as an inner group, well, then you've got other personalities coming in going like, oh, this doesn't work. But it's amazing how when you can be the steward and guide the people, how it grows them. Because again, a business is only as good as the people in it. So that's where I am, and that's where I was excited when I actually put this out to our Life Matters group. And I just put it out there, and Sylvia knows this about me. Like, I'm always pushing to make things happen, the right people be there. I'm not doing that anymore. You know what? I'm all about putting it out to the universe, and what needs to show up will, and who needs to show up will. So thank you and Elijah, for being here, because it was you 4 that came back in certain ways with no hesitation. I mean, Michelle, you came back with like, what's the timeline? What's this? What's that? And I totally understood that because you're running a back office. So you have to really schedule in that time right now. So I want to stop for now and just say that what it has done for me as a person and me within business, and Laurie Renton as a grandma, as a mom, as a partner in life with my partner, is elevated me to new levels in my own personal life. And I want to share this with everybody. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Laurie. Michelle?
It felt interesting to do, honestly. I trust Laurie with the adventures she's taking through life. She speaks very, very, very highly of Elijah, well, everybody here. And I am looking to get out of the routine, and I'm open to learning new methodologies and new ways of viewing the world. And so here I am. Ta-da!
Awesome.
Way to go, unicorn.
Oh, wait, look at this. Check this out. There we go.
Look at her.
Oh, I'll have to turn off my virtual background to see it, but there it is.
Love it.
Emmanuel, how about you?
Get off of unmute here. Yeah, it seemed like a good idea when Laurie brought it up. I got the fortune to meet her. I want to say it was in November or December of last year. And then connecting with her was kind of cool because you don't know what type of people you'll run into in life. And when you kind of go down a certain path, it's weird that people that kind of like the same things and have similar beliefs and values to you sort of show up in your life. And we got to reconnect with Laurie, and I'm fortunate enough in the business I work in right now, work with some really awesome people that are very introspective. Personal development's a really, really big thing to the people that I work with. So we're kind of constantly reevaluating ourselves and what we're good at, what we're not good at, and how to continuously get on the same page as a means of working better together. So when Laurie brought this up, it seemed like if I had the time, it wouldn't make sense not to do it. So I get to know myself a little bit better, and by doing that, get to know other people better. It's always a good opportunity.
Awesome. Sylvia?
Well, I'm a true believer in new things and growth. And I've known and I've heard about Elijah for many years, and I started following you on Facebook and Instagram and those kinds of things. And then working with Laurie, the energy that she brings to the table when she talks about mapping and just the thing, you know, the shared knowledge and the community and a different way of doing business. I see what she does in her business and how well it works and flows for the people that she works with and the people that come into her office. You know, they talk about the different feel and just everything is just so from the heart, and it just makes people feel good. And I think if we can bring that shared knowledge and that feeling to the community and deeper and further, that the whole world will be better off.
Thank you, Sylvia.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I'm going to give you a bit of an introduction to what I've been doing, so you have a bit of understanding what you're getting into, because it is a bit of a rabbit hole, and once you jump in, like Laurie knows, it goes on and on and on. And I just want to congratulate you for getting here and for being the pioneers that you are going to be. And this is going to be more of an inner journey. This is going to be more of a journey into your mind and finding out how is your inner world organized, and giving you some tools to assist you to further map out and design your ideal future. And so there's a reason there's 4 of you. I asked for 4 specifically, and that is going to come into bearing as we go along. But the first kind of Planetary Guardian team is with 4 people. And we are being our own media. This is being recorded, and this is going to be for the world to see, and for you to understand that media is a tool to really help educate the world. And for our first time, we have the ability to create our own media for ourselves. And that's what this is a part of. So this is going to be a very transparent process. And what I would like to start with is most of my work has been in designing conceptual maps, looking for the best maps that are out there, and then working on some myself, but creating this holistic system called the inflow matrix, information flowing through a matrix. The world is a very complex place, and we need something to use as our operating system to interpret reality through. And so what I'm going to offer you is a set of maps, 1 map per session, that you're going to learn and that you're going to program. You're going to program and custom design it. So eventually what you're doing is you are designing your ideal job. This is an idea where everybody gets to design their ideal future, and that is where you're going to be aiming at as a team together. So your individual gifts, the things you most want to do, the things you're most interested in, is what you are going to put together here and then have as this future design that you can move into. And so the start is, if everyone can get a piece of paper and a pen in front of you, you're going to draw your first map. And I don't know how good you guys are at drawing circles, but you're going to draw a nice big circle about 8 inches. And then you're going to draw a circle in the middle, maybe about 3 inches. And then you're going to draw 2 lines. Don't go through the circle, but you're going to draw 2 lines. So you're going to divide the larger circle into 4.
Up and down or this way?
Yeah. Both ways. You're going to have
Oh, yeah.
a circle in the middle, and then 4 lines.
Like that?
Yeah, you got to pull back.
Okay.
So 8 inches, 3 inches, 2 lines.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. That's it. That's it.
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay, cool. Got it.
Okay, now what you're going to do in the top right corner is you're going to write personal space. And then right underneath that, you're going to write one-on-one space.
So is this in the circle, outside of the circle? Laurie, you know what
It's
you're
like
doing. Can you hold?
inside the top left
Quadrant.
top right quadrant is personal space. Yep.
Okay.
And then below that is one-on-one space. And then the bottom left quadrant is community space. And the top left quadrant is group space. And then the center quadrant, the center circle is sacred space.
Sacred.
I'd like to say a little something about this model because it is something that kind of came through that is one of the simplest models that I think has come through, but it really distinguishes communication boundaries. Right now, we are in a group space. There's 5 of us. We're acting like a bit of a team. It's a group space. If I was going to go with any one of you into a Zoom on our own, that would be a one-on-one space. If I'm going to be by myself, that's a personal space. And if we all of a sudden went into any type of community event, that would be a community space. And in the middle is the sacred space, which is kind of like your own place for your own idea of whatever spirituality is for you through your own worldview. And what I'm saying is, as a first map, because there's thousands of conceptual maps. There's all these different ways to interpret, the world through models. I'm saying that this map is the starter map before you go into any of the other maps. It distinguishes you from everybody else. And if you look at levels of consciousness and you look at increasing levels of consciousness, especially through Ken Wilber's work, it's differentiating individual consciousness with group consciousness, individual consciousness with group consciousness, individual consciousness with group consciousness. So those two, the individual and the group consciousness, are the distinctions made between levels of consciousness. So you don't jump a level and go from individual to individual, you go from individual to a group, and then you go from group to individual, and then you go from individual to group. And so for ourselves, I'm going to teach you now a methodology that you can use to program any conceptual model with a value system. So what I want you to do is I want you to get 5 pieces of paper. I want you to get it can be about 2 inches across. Just cut them up, but you need pieces of paper. Now, as you do this, I'm going to say that when you put information on pieces of paper, when you put information on cards that you can move, you change the nature of the information that if you just write it on a piece of paper, you can't move them. What we're going to be looking at is how we move information around and place them on conceptual models.
How many, Elijah?
What's that? 5.
How many? 5? Okay. Stickies, hey? Like we could use this size of sticky.
Yeah.
couldn't we?
Oh, yeah. You can use a
That
stick.
would work.
5 stickies, 5 index
Yeah.
cards are always good.
Right.
I have business card things.
Business card things are good. Okay, so you ready?
No.
Everyone have their 5 pieces of paper.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now what you're going to do is on each piece of paper, write one of your highest values. Write the things that are most important to you, characteristics, traits, principles, values, integrity, love, communication, courage, inspiration, empowerment, kindness are all examples of values. You're writing one value on each piece of paper. Okay, how's everybody doing? Have you done it yet, or?
Yep.
Yep, all good.
You done it? You done it? Okay, now we are going to add an element which most people call divination, and it is also going to be a choice of whether you want to use divination or not, because there's a difference between consciously choosing something and using a random process as opposed to choice. And a lot of people, they like the random process because it brings things to mind that they've never seen before. And when you're choosing, sometimes the mind gets overwhelmed and doesn't want to choose anymore. You just want something kind of playful to happen. So Laurie knows that divination could be very fun. So I'm going to give you a choice. Turn your pieces of paper over so you can't see them. Move them around a bit so you can't see which is where. And now I'm going to give you a choice. You don't have to do divination. You might want to choose the value and place it where you want. So you've got the choice between turning the cards over, finding the value and placing one in each space, or you do a divination where you don't know where it goes, and now what you're going to do is you're going to place one of the blank cards on each space. Okay? So that's going to be up to you.
Okay.
And also what I'd like to hear from each person, and I want you to write this down as you go, I want each person to set an intention for what you want this map to be. Because every map, every divination usually references an intention. So I want you to write down an intention of what this map is to you.
Can you provide some examples?
Like an intention might be, show me how to improve my life in all spaces. Help me to become enlightened in all spaces. How do I be the best person in each space? What do I need to learn in each space? How do I remove the blocks in each space? How's that for a few?
Thank you.
So it's like we're setting up a field of realization that these spaces are, and the intention is the main programming. It is the main reference point that you are putting into, and then the cards, as you turn them over, are in relationship to that intention, and then that becomes the field of energy for you to realize those values in those spaces. Does that make sense? Probably not, but Laurie knows what I'm talking about.
Yep.
I'm just saying that once you do this, magic happens, and watch out, it occurs, it works. There's something about this process which I can't explain, but I just know through the years that something really magical begins to happen. Okay, is everybody ready? So did everybody choose divination, or did anyone choose choice?
Choice.
I knew you choose choice. Something what Emmanuel wants to choose those cards. Okay, so why don't we start with you, Emmanuel? And am I saying that right, Emmanuel?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so why don't we start with you and tell us what you did.
So I put, I guess my 5 were loyalty, empathy, determination, kindness, and courage.
Nice.
And I placed, what I call it, the quadrant, for lack of a better placeholder term. I placed loyalty in the sacred quadrant, empathy in the personal quadrant, determination in the one-on-one, kindness in the community, and courage into the group space.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow. How does that feel to you? How does that look?
It feels good. It feels really good, actually, as far as like the intention behind it. What I was thinking was kind of like, show me how to, maybe structure is too concrete of a term, but how to structure my life. And I feel like each one fit in where I want it to fit as far as characteristics that I'd like to pop up in each respective space. So feels good. Feels really natural.
Could you give them to me again? I want to write them down.
Yeah. So I had loyalty in sacred. I had empathy in personal. I had determination in one-on-one. I had kindness in community, and I had courage in group.
What was in group again?
Courage.
Just why determination and one-on-one?
I think it's a good, I guess, maybe not outlet, but a good sphere to really practice being determined. Like if you can't be honest and outright when you're just in front of one person, whether they're close to you or not close to you, it'll be more difficult to do so, whether in a community or a group. So kind of getting more assertive in one-on-one situations to speak my mind, whatever that mind might be at that moment. So
Okay.
it's felt appropriate.
Okay. That's awesome. I think that's an incredible value system. And I would just like to say that the 10-minute warning came up and I don't have the upper version. So if we all of a sudden lose ourselves, I'm going to re-invite you guys back in. Okay. And we'll have part 2 just to finish up.
Okay.
Just in case. Okay. Laurie, would you like to go?
In my personal, I chose generosity, authenticity, inspiration, trust, and love. And in my personal space is generosity, and I divinely did this. I didn't choose where I wanted it to go. One-on-one is authenticity, inspiration in sacred, trust in community, and love in group space.
Oh, wow. And how does that feel?
It feels great.
That's a...
I even closed my eyes because I didn't want to see through the paper.
And you see, like, again, and when you do divination, you know, you don't know where it's going to go, but it does end up well.
Yeah.
Okay, Sylvia, would you like to go?
Okay, sure. I did mine divinely as well. And let's see, personal space, I put love. One-on-one space is freedom. Community space is joy. Group space is generosity. And sacred space is trust.
All right. How does that feel?
Actually, just fine. My intention I put out there was just show me what I need to know to grow personally and in business. And all week, it seems heart chakra has been coming up. So it didn't surprise me that love came in the personal space. So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And Emmanuel, what was your intention?
To give me structure as far as how to like operate my life or view my life, I guess. I'm still kind of stuck on the wording, but just some kind of outline how to handle each of the various situations. That's kind of how I interpreted it.
Okay. And Laurie, what was yours?
Mine was guide me to the next level of creation in my semi-retirement.
Nice.
Nice.
Okay. And how about you, Michelle?
My intention is what is next for me for my highest good in each space.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I got goosebumps.
Deep. Very deep.
My personal space is connection. My one-on-one space is purpose. Community space is communication. Group space is kindness. And sacred space is integrity.
I mean, and how does that feel?
Feels good. It feels grounded. That's there's a lot of clearing out in my world in various places, and I mean, and globally, obviously, this is unprecedented times, and just I am intentionally seeking out, well, staying in space of curiosity, what's next, and not getting into the whole vibe of despair and oh my God, we're all gonna die type of crap, and just getting grounded again. Everything's been like, whoo, the salad bowl tossed up and we're all settling down again.
Okay, so that was quick. See how powerful that was? Didn't take much, but all of a sudden you've got the beginning of a value system for yourself and you see and hear the other people. And what is it, just a quick round of what does it feel like to hear the values of the other people? Just a quick round on that. Do you want to start, Laurie?
You know what I found is as I was listening to all of you, and I know you all individually, maybe Emmanuel, not you as well as I know the other two ladies, but it was kind of cool how these values came up and they're very, very heart-based values. And it was all about kind of our future number one. It's not right now, but it's in the future. And how do we create, how do we become the best version of ourselves? Because I really believe every one of you, knowing you all, we're all here to serve.
Sure.
And whether it's serving our children, whether it's serving our grandchildren, whether it's serving our people at work, the world, is how do we elevate that? So that, it was interesting because I wrote them down and I gave everybody a different color. And I'm looking in group space: courage, generosity, kindness, and love. That feels fabulous. And I'm only choosing the group right now because we're in a group. So thank you, everybody. It's like everybody's energy and love and generosity, integrity is coming into my heart through this. Even though we all have it, but we just don't pay attention to that because we're so busy on what's going on out there.
For sure.
So this is great. Wow.
Thanks, Laurie. Emmanuel?
I guess, yeah, to touch on what Laurie said, I know her a little bit better than both Sylvia and Michelle, but just getting to interact with them in a couple of meetings, if I were to infer, or you know, when you get a feeling or a vibration, probably a better word for it, from certain people, that what they wrote is who they are, kind of thing, without making too big of an assumption about who they are. There's a lot of genuineness in what they wrote. So I think it was Laurie who mentioned authenticity, I think, within her circle, or within one of her quadrants, that at least everyone was authentic, which is a good starting ground in order to work with the group or community. The more authentic everyone is, the more meaningful, I guess, the progress in the conversation can be. So I guess thank you to everybody else for being able to share authentically and not feel weird or awkward about it.
Michelle?
I loved hearing everybody. They all gave me different responses. Sylvia, it really resonated with me how much joy, and the words you used were very intentional about the joy and the uplifting. Everybody had a kind of different vibe, and to what Emmanuel said, that kind of, yeah, that makes sense. Laurie's such a connector and a catalyst, and very, very high with integrity and authenticity and all those good things. And that's what you mentioned for getting the clarity and everything. It just all resonated. It seemed to, it made sense. So yay.
Sylvia?
Yeah. Well, I thought that it seemed that we were all very like-minded with a lot of our words. You know, they were maybe a bit different, but I mean, there was still kindness, and there was joy, and there was generosity, and all of those types of words. And I think, yeah, with the five of us, I think we're all pretty well on the same mindset and mind frame. And I think growing together, we will be so much stronger.
Okay, thank you, everyone. What I'm going to do is I'm going to end this meeting here and then re-invite you in for part 2, because this seems like a natural stopping point before we go on to what we're going to do next, okay? So thank you, everyone, for participating in part 1, and I will invite you very soon.
You're going to email a link to us all?